Hey, what's happening, guys? Rules for Rebels here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another video kind of showcasing Terapeak and also sharing some tips and tricks, as well as a few tools that are new and a few tools that aren't new but that I've recently discovered. So first things first, what is Terapeak? If you watch my videos, you've probably seen me use it in a number of videos. Terapeak is an eBay analytics program. They're a partner with eBay, so that means they get eBay data, and if you subscribe to their service, they allow you to pull eBay search results. You can pull all types of data from seeing the day of the week when people buy your item most, the time of day when people buy your item most. You can see your top 20 competitors on eBay. You can see how well your item potentially could sell internationally. You can see at what price point your item sells in the USA versus Canada versus Australia. You can do keyword research. You can source products through here. Like anything you want to do with, a lot of people think of it as being just for eBay, but eBay selling, Amazon selling, affiliate marketing, blogging, really like anything you want to do online, there's some valuable keyword research. So if anybody wants to check this program out, you can get a free 7-day trial. I will link to in the description box below where you can get this trial. And yeah, basically in this video, guys, I'm just going to be showing you guys some various tools, as well as some tricks to using this program. So in a recent video, a couple recent videos actually, I featured like Yeti coolers, Yeti tumblers, beer bottle insulators, etc. So this summer seems to be the summer of the koozie, of the fancy cooler, of the tumbler. And it's kind of funny because, koozies have been around forever. Stainless steel beer insulators have been around forever. But I feel like Yeti did such a great job of marketing these things and making them like cool and like party accessories and everything. And even to some extent, like a status symbol. If you can afford a $50 Yeti tumbler, which is really the same tumbler you could go buy at, in my opinion, the same tumbler you could go buy at the gas station for like $6. But they get you to spend $50 for it because it's cool, because it's a Yeti, because they have all these accessories for it. You can put stickers on it, etc. So, before I get into showing you the tools, here's one quick trick for making sure that you're pulling accurate results. So Coozie, how do you spell Coozie, right? C-O-Z-Z-Y. We pull up results, and Urban Dictionary actually has it as that. We also have C-O-Z-C-O-O-Z-I-E, and that's going to get 800. Let's pay attention to how many results we're getting in Google. So 515,000 results. So this looks like it could be the proper spelling, right? But if we search there, Coozie, we have 839,000. If we search K-O-O-Z-I-E, we have 3 million. And if we search K-O-O-Z-Y, we have 94,000. So when we're pulling research, if I were to just search C-O-O-Z-Y, oh wow, this isn't a very good product, right? It only sells $155.94 per week, if you guys can see my cursor right there. However, if we type it C-O-O-Z-I-E, okay, now we have $5,549. So the sell-through rate was higher on the other term, but the sales stats are a lot higher here. So you figure here we got like 5,500 and we had 500 before. Well, what if we spell it K-O-O-Z-I-E? Okay, now we have 34,785. So we got 37,000. And what if we just spelled it K-O-O-Z-Y? K-O-O-Z-Y. And we have $792, right? So the first term we searched, we got 5,500, second term 500, third term 37,000, and fourth term $792, right? But you can see how if you only search one spelling of Coozie, you might think that it's not a good category, but really you just need to do a little bit more digging and try some different search terms. Sometimes you may even want to misspell the product or the word you're looking up, because if it's a common misspelling, a lot of buyers are searching for it that way. We could also search beer insulator. $701. Beer cooler. Now this term may pull up coolers as well, but I'm sure it'll also pull up $47,000. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here, but when you pull a search, don't just pull one search term and say, oh, this is a great product, or oh, this is a terrible product, because a lot of times you have to pull up a lot of search terms. Some things can go by various names. Some things people may be searching for different words and different names. So you're going to want to pull a variety of searches and really like I said, if you just search one term, you might think this category is only good for $500 a week. But as you start pulling more terms, you see we got, some people who are buying koozies are searching for Coozie. Some people Coozy. Some people Koozie. And if we add all these terms together, what could potentially look like only $500 a week in sales quickly turns into like $45,000, $50,000 worth of sales in a week, which kind of brings me to my next point and my next tool, which is this Terapeak SEO tool. So if we type in Coozie, we can kind of see some examples of some products and things like that. And we have can, koozie, beer, drink, cooler, bottle, new, lot, soda, free, gift, holder, shipping. So, what's the point of this? What does this tell us? What do we want to do with this data, right? Okay, so not always are you going to know all the common misspellings, all the different words for something, etc. I may think of Coozie as Coozie, but by using this SEO tool, oh wow, a lot of people spell Coozie Koozie. Maybe I should check that search term out. A lot of people are going to call this a beer can cooler, a beer can holder, a coolie. I've never heard it called a coolie, but that's obviously another search term. Some of them are foam, some of them are metal, so we're going to find out what materials they are. So not only is this going to give me some additional search terms, but also it's going to show me some examples. So I mean, some people are selling 200 koozies for $200. I mean, it comes to, let me see what that comes to. It's like cents per koozie. Let me look this up here. So if we got 200 divided by 24, 24 divided by 200. I mean, these things are like 12 cents a piece. So you're like, well, how am I going to make money? These things people are selling these things for 12 cents a piece. But as soon as you do some customization to them and market them in a nice way, somebody has a prescription bottle beer soda can cooler, and this one's selling for $6. So how come this person gets $6 per koozie and this person sells them for 12 cents? Well, a couple things. First off, anytime you buy something in bulk, you're going to get it cheaper. So obviously people who are buying a single one aren't going to get the same deal as people buying 200 or even 100 of them. Secondly, by creating something unique and marketing it in the proper way, you can get a lot more money for it. So a lot of people, beer is my medicine after a long hard week. My beer is my medicine, and they pick up this cooler, and it's kind of a funny thing, and whatever else, right? So this SEO tool is valuable. Now I've talked about how Terapeak is something that you can use for eBay analytic research. So if I'm thinking about selling koozies on eBay, I can come pull these search. I have all these terms. I can pull some product research using what's the name of that tool? Using the product research tool. And I can start searching these different terms and seeing, how many of these units sell per week, how much money worth of these things sell per week, etc. But also, if I'm an affiliate marketer, we talked about Yeti budding a couple weeks ago. If I'm an affiliate marketer who's focusing on this Yeti budding craze, and I'm looking for titles for blog posts, titles for Instagram posts, different hashtags to use, etc. By typing in the word koozie, I get a bunch of ideas. So, if I'm marketing Yeti koozies or Yeti whatever tumblers on Instagram, I may want to do hashtag coolie or hashtag koozie with a different spelling or hashtag beer, so this kind of gives me some ideas. So like I said, not only is this Terapeak program and the tools within it, not only are they helpful for people selling on eBay, they're also helpful for your Amazon sales. And I'll tell you why. Sure, sales stats on Amazon are going to be a little bit different. Sometimes some products sell for more on eBay. Sometimes some products sell for more on Amazon. Sometimes people buy certain products more on Amazon than they do on eBay. So, not all the sales stats and things are going to match up perfectly, but typically consumer behavior is going to be the same across the board. And what do I mean by that? Consumer behavior is going to be the same time across the board. With like gaming stuff, like certain products sell at different times of day. So gaming stuff, people who are into gaming and video games and computer games, they tend to stay up very late playing games. So if you're selling gaming mouse pads and gaming mouses, there's a good chance that people who are going to be buying them are going to be buying them on Saturday night from like midnight to 3 in the morning because they're up playing games and up playing on a computer. On the flip side, if you're selling baby teethers, something that moms are going to buy, some moms are probably up with their babies at 3 in the morning, but a lot of moms are going to be buying stuff. And I've actually pulled research on mom products before, and me and my business partner have one sort of mom baby type product in our stock. But moms, for some reason, tend to shop on weekdays from like, say, 9 to like 11 in the morning. And I imagine maybe they have their baby in a swim class. Maybe they put the baby down for a nap and have some free time. So that's when they're buying this stuff. Now, the hot research tool is another tool that I've never really used in the past, but I've recently been playing around with and have found helpful. So if we type in the word koozie, a lot of people are buying, quote unquote, lots of koozies. Funny koozies. A lot of people are searching for funny koozies. Like I said, the RX prescription bottle koozie, I would consider that to be a pretty funny one. So a lot of people are looking for funny koozies, canned koozies. And again, this is somewhat similar to the SEO tool, except this is giving you some of the most commonly searched keywords and terms on eBay for what people are searching for and also what people are buying. So Pabst Blue Ribbon koozie, canned koozie, personalized koozie, foam koozie, leather koozie, toolbox, funny koozie, Pabst. So you can kind of see that. Some alternative searches: koozie lot, camel koozie, beer koozie, bottle koozie, etc. So this is a hot research tool. I don't think category research is really going to help us out much. We can look at the competitor research tool. Coozie. Okay, so we don't really have any results here. Let's see if we search. Oh, I think I'm supposed to be typing in a competitor's name, so we'll do that later. What should we do next? We'll go over to product research. And for you guys who watch my videos, you've probably seen a lot of these types of videos and a lot of me showing off this specific tool. So I'll kind of breeze through this, but I will touch on it for anybody who hasn't seen these tools. So I can do a search for Coozie or any other product for that matter. The average sales price is $11.24, which I'm kind of surprised by. That's kind of expensive for koozies, although it's probably people selling the lots of 50 and 100 koozies that are driving the price up. Average shipping price is $5.17. Again, I'm kind of surprised because you could ship a koozie for like 94 cents without tracking number. I think $2.42 with tracking. Average start price is $16.41. There are 1,308 listings. Of those listings, 297 were successful, and that gives us our sell-through rate of 22.71%. The day of the week when most people buy koozies is Tuesday, which that strikes me. All right, I guess I could see that. You have a long weekend out on the lake or have a barbecue or something like that, and everybody else has koozies, and you're like, I should really get one of those koozies to keep my beer warm or to keep my beer cold. And then you decide, Monday or Tuesday when you're back at work, you're like, oh, I'm going to get a koozie for this upcoming weekend. So I guess that makes sense. The time of day really throws, 3 to 4 p.m., so that makes sense. One of the most popular keywords is Coozie, spelled with a K-O-O-Z-I-E. We already touched on the general stats. Here we can see the times of day when most people buy koozies. You can see it really peaks at 3 to 4. Now, for any of you on Amazon, this isn't as important. On your own e-commerce site, this isn't as important. For an affiliate marketer, if I were trying to market Yeti koozies or Yeti tumblers, I would probably want to try to end my listings between 3 and 4 p.m. Why? If you guys don't know this, as your eBay listing is coming to an end, whether it's an auction or a buy it now listing, you tend to get a spike in the search results towards the end. So personally, I would want my spike to happen when most people are buying these koozies. So I don't want my listing to spike at 3 in the morning. I want it to spike at 3 to 4 in the afternoon when everybody's buying koozies. I don't know why everybody, normally these stats are fairly even across. Certain products people will buy on certain days. I know there's gaming stuff really sells on Friday and Saturdays late at night, but people really seem like this is pretty dramatic. Like most people buy koozies on Tuesday. Why is that? I don't really know. The category, most people are selling them collectibles, but there are a few people selling them in the sports memorabilia. I'm guessing that's like a Chicago Bears koozie. Few people in home and garden. And here we can see the price point. So what price are people buying most of their koozies at? Really strong sales from $8 to $12, although there's a lot of cheaper sales as well. If you're trying to sell a koozie, you probably want to have your thing priced under $12 because the sales drop off pretty heavily after you get over $12. Here is a keyword research tool. So I would want to try to include these keywords in my listing. So koozie, can, new, beer bottle, coolie, cooler, huggy. I've never heard a koozie called a huggy, but that makes sense. 2, people are probably selling a pack of 2 of them, a holder for a beer holder. So again, if I'm an affiliate marketer, I might want to do hashtag Coozie on my Instagram profile or whatever. If I'm writing a blog post about koozies, I probably want to include these keywords in my blog post to send people over to eBay. And in my eBay listing, I want to include these keywords in my title and my description for good SEO. This isn't really that important. It tells us what percentage of koozie sales are bid auctions versus fixed price versus store. And here we can see the highest priced items, which are like lots of koozies. If we go over here, we're going to be able to see this is only taking into consideration auctions, but we can see the auctions which have got the most bids. In some ways, this shows us which items were the most popular, but at the same time, this data is kind of skewed because somebody who starts their auction at 99 cents and has it run up to $10 is going to wind up having 8 or 10 bids, whereas somebody who just sells their item for $9 right off the bat is only going to have like 1 bid. So This data is kind of skewed, but it does in some ways give us an idea of what's popular. Oh, and I've been trying to remember the name. Ozark Trail is another company that's probably the second most popular behind Yeti that's kind of come out into space recently. Now, this tool is one of my favorite. I guess this is a feature of the product research tool, but this is something that I find to be really interesting. So this is going to take a while to pull these stats, but we're going to look at 30 days because 7 days doesn't really tell us much. And while it's pulling the stats, I'm going to pause this video so you guys aren't just sitting here listening to me ramble for no reason. Okay, so this is going to show us 30 days worth of two different types of stats. First, we're going to see the total number of listings. And we're going to want to see this to be pretty consistent because, okay, so there's 125 listings, 185 listings, 112 listings, 233. But what we see here, there's a spike, right? So what does this tell us? I actually think this is kind of odd. First off, koozies are more of a summer type item, so it's kind of weird to see them spiking in a fall. But what this tells me here is, there have been a fair decent number of people listing koozies, but all of a sudden, just recently, within the past week or two, or even couple days, the number of people listing koozies has really spiked. So what this means is there's going to be a lot more competition. We don't necessarily want to see it drop off. While that does mean there's less competition, there's probably a reason why all the sellers are dropping off. Like the price has been driven down low so that the margins aren't good on the product, or it's not selling as well. But here we're seeing a spike. I wouldn't say this would mean I don't want to sell the product, but it is something to be aware of. And then lastly, we can see the average end price. So these stats are pretty good. What we really like to see is when the price is going up, because that means we're going to make better margins. What we don't like to see is if the price we're trailing down. Here you can see it's pretty even. I mean, the average koozie sold for 15 bucks back on September 1st, dropped down to 11, up, down, up, down. We're seeing a slight drop off here, but it looks like it's coming back up. So nothing to be super concerned about there. And you can look at, 1 day, 7 days, 45 days, 90 days. I would look at a longer period of time because that way we're going to see kind of a track record. So by doing 90 days right now, we'll kind of see the entire summer's worth of koozie sales. Okay, guys, so like I told you, we're looking at 90 days here, so nothing really too dramatic. I mean, obviously we have some spikes and some ebbs and flows, but that's pretty typical. It is here at the end that we see a big spike in a lot more people listing, so 371 versus 165, so significant more amount of people listing at the end of fall, which is kind of odd. And the price point has been pretty stable. We have ebbs and flows, ups and downs, etc., but nothing too crazy there. Here is where we're going to look at our top 20 competitors. So these are the people on eBay who are selling the most koozies. Okay, so this guy's selling $18,000 worth of koozies, 365 total. Successful listing 365, which gives him the 100% sell-through rating. So literally every listing this guy puts up sells. And this is actually pretty promising. Like this guy's got a really low sell-through rating, but he's got a ton of listings as well. But people who are putting up listings, 100% of their listings are selling, 92%. This guy's a little bit lower, but pretty good sell-through rating. Something I sometimes will do is dig into these people's stats. If you have Tereapeak, you can just click their name and it'll pull up their specific stats. If you don't have Tereapeak, what you can do is do a Google search of, say hog outfitters. I'll show you. Just type in their eBay username and the word eBay, and it'll typically bring you to their store, and then you can look at their listings. What I like to do is see the types of items they're selling, the keywords that they're using in their listing. Are they using a template or a regular text listing, etc.? And if they're having success, try to kind of copy what they're doing. And lastly, we can see how these items are selling internationally. Okay, so last thing we're going to be showing you here, this is how these items sell internationally. So we can see, obviously, by far, they're selling the best in the U.S. in terms of the average price. People in the U.S. are getting over $12, whereas in like Germany, people are paying $4.10 for koozies, Australia $3.79. The sell-through rate, they actually seem to sell pretty well on eBay Motors. So I'd have to look into what kind of koozies are selling on eBay Motors, but you may be able to sell them there. Some people may browse that category. I'm guessing maybe like car-themed koozies and things like that. Sell-through rating, pretty good in Germany, pretty good in the UK, but again, the prices are pretty low over there. People probably aren't going to order something like that from the States. And here we can see a breakdown of successful listings and buyer distributions, but obviously most people in the US are buying koozies. If, however, we saw that like Canada was making up this red slice, we may say, 93% of the koozies being sold are being sold in Canada. It may make sense for us to sell internationally to Canada, but in this scenario, US is going to be perfectly fine for us. And I think we've pretty much showed you most of the tools. The last tool is sourcing. And really all this is doing is, pulling sales stats, or it's basically just doing I'm surprised no product found. Pretty much all this is pulling up Alibaba listings. I guess it's handy because I don't have to go over to Alibaba.com. But I mean, really, if I went over here and typed in Coozie, I'm going to see a bunch of koozies and stuff. These beer stick coolers are kind of cool. Those actually, I mean, these things go for like 20 bucks on eBay, $0 to $5. So some good margins there. Stay away from doing anything sports related. None of this stuff is licensed merchandise. So it could be taken down from eBay. It could cause problems with your eBay and Amazon accounts. And you could get sued by the Blackhawks. So don't do anything name brand. Don't do Coca-Cola. Don't do Pabst Blue Ribbon unless you are actually buying the stuff from Pabst or from a licensed distributor. This is kind of cool, a magnetic one, so you can stick your beer. I think this is actually a really cool product here. But yeah, basically, I mean, this isn't pulling up that accurate results. It's pulling up baby bottles and stuff. I'm not sure why they're calling these koozies. So sometimes this tool is pretty accurate, but I mean, really all this is doing is using Terapeak to pull a search on Alibaba. You could very easily go over to Alibaba and probably pull more accurate results yourself. So that's really everything, guys. Like I said, this is Terapeak. It's a eBay analytics program. I find it useful for Amazon, and even for those of you guys out there who are affiliate marketers. If you're trying to start an Amazon review site or want to do some site like the coolest products on eBay or the best deal on eBay of the week, this is a great tool to get you keywords, to find out what products are selling the best, etc. So again, if anybody's interested in checking out this program for themselves, I'll put a link in the description box below where you can get a free 7-day trial of Terapeak to pull some reports and things like that. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're active on any e-commerce forums or message boards or anything, feel free to share this video. I appreciate when people share videos. Got a lot of good videos coming out. Stay tuned, and we'll talk to you guys later.